Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley if you're new here. In today's video, I want to talk about 5 reasons for procrastination. I want to talk about procrastination from a lens that maybe you're less familiar with and introduce you to what in the Buddhist tradition is called the 5 hindrances. Now, I'm not a Buddhist. This is not a religious or spiritual video in any way, but I do find this perspective really useful when having conversation about the human condition, specifically how we tend to get in our own way sometimes. So we'll talk about procrastination from the perspective of the 5 hindrances, and then I want to invite you to leave your ideas in the comments below. Language is really powerful, so you might write something in the comments that resonates with somebody in a way that maybe my language didn't quite reach. And so when you engage in these comments, we really do bulk up this conversation and make it even more useful for people looking for guidance on this topic. The first hindrance is called desire, or another way of thinking of this is the hindrance of wanting. So desire comes in 3 forms. The first is the desire for something tangible, like that last meal before your diet, that last drink or hit before you commit to sobriety. It's this concept of tomorrow, which allows us to indulge in what we desire today. The second form of desire comes in the form of a feeling. So the feeling of our preferred ease and comfortability. I can be honest and say that I was guilty of watching too many YouTubers before starting this channel because I desired to feel confident. I was scared to start this whole thing. And of course, when it comes to preferred feelings, all of those things like confidence are a byproduct of actually acting. So be careful about the desire for a feeling, which may be even happening right now, whatever your motivation is for watching this video. The third form of desire sounds a little bit like if only. If only I had more time, more money, if the conditions were different, then I would be able to start. So any of these forms of desire are a recipe for procrastination when we become so attached to them that they stop us from acting. And the real issue here isn't what we desire, it's that we get so taken away by that energy of I want, I need, this grasping. We become lost in this cyclical thing that we don't even start. What's really needed here is the ability to let things be as they are, to notice that desire, that sense of grasping when it arises, and to stop ourselves from getting carried away by that momentum. The second hindrance is called aversion. So if desire energetically feels like being seduced by an alternative, aversion energetically feels like the exact opposite. It's a sense of backing away from, resisting, and avoiding this thing we have to do. Maybe we're angry, we hate it, we just don't want to do it. Maybe we're fearful, it's just overwhelming and we're afraid we're gonna fail. Maybe we're in a place of judgment, we just think this thing is stupid and annoying. But the common theme here with aversion as a force for procrastination is that we really just don't want to do the thing in front of us. We would prefer to push it away. And that's the tricky part with aversion, right? Because to overcome it, we actually have to move toward the very thing that we're resisting. We have to stop ourselves and shift our focus from that of hiding from the here and now to one of leaning into it, of discovering all the positive aspects we aren't currently seeing. The third hindrance is sloth and torpor, or what I call apathy and lethargy. It's more like, I really could care less. It's a sense of boredom, a lack of enthusiasm for the job. It can signal to you that maybe you've lost touch with your mission and purpose, or that your mission and purpose no longer aligns with what you really want. Sloth and torpor can also look like sleepiness or a mental fog. It's important to consider things like poor nutrition, lack of sleep, illness, a mental health problem, and rule those things out first before assuming this is an issue of procrastination. The fourth hindrance is restlessness, which is the opposite of sloth and torpor. A wandering mind, a lack of focus, a sense of agitation, anxiety, worry. The very thing we need to channel our attention on is just making us feel like we're crawling out of our own skin. So if restlessness is what's leading you to chronically procrastinate, then there are a couple of things to consider. Is there a lack of exercise going on? And what is your relationship to emotion? Are you the kind of person who numbs out and avoids it? Both exercise and emotion require energy and motion. If you're not allowing that to happen, you experience that kind of bubbling restlessness underneath. What can be useful for restlessness is something like mindfulness meditation, learning to quiet your mind and come into your body, focusing on your breathing, shifting your attention. Another thing that is useful that the mind really likes when you're in a state of restlessness is timelines. Bargain with yourself. I will work on this task for X amount of time. That is going to make it a little bit easier for you to get through it. And the last hindrance is doubt, which I think is the most dangerous. Because when we're in a state of doubt, we're just thinking, what's the point? We doubt ourselves because maybe we failed in the past, or we doubt the thing that we're working on. Maybe we don't have clearly defined goals. But doubt can become a force of paralysis that makes us procrastinate, and that actually ends up making us more doubtful over time. I really think you have to take a leap of faith on this one and be willing to fail, willing to learn as you go. When doubt shows up, I think we have to see that that's what's driving our desire to procrastinate, and stop ourselves and ask the question, if I listen to this, does it get me closer or further away from what I ultimately want? So those are the 5 hindrances, and they are a way of conceptualizing the driving forces behind procrastination. When one or more of these are present, I think it just clouds our judgment and can stop us in our tracks. I think what we have to ask is, can I experience these forces and be productive anyways? Can I learn ways of handling them so they have less impact and influence? I think realistically, for us to be able to do that, we first have to acknowledge when one of them are arising, as they're arising, and then we have to accept that that's what's happening, even though we don't like it or want it. Because if we can't acknowledge and accept what already is, I think we'll have a hard time actually doing something different. That being said, I'm going to be creating more videos on each of these hindrances that really dive into different ways of working with them. So if you want to be notified of those videos, hit that bell button and make sure you subscribe. Also, leave your comments in the comments below, your ideas on the topic of procrastination, so we can build out this conversation even more. All right, get to work. Bye.